Imagine a single object, forged in fire and tempered by conflict, capable of not just ending lives, but defining legacies. These are not mere weapons, they are the silent witnesses to history's most pivotal moments, imbued with the power, ambition, and very soul of the eras they represent. Today, we delve into the heart of legend, examining 5 real swords whose stories are etched into the annals of military history, swords that have seen empires rise and fall. Our journey begins in the ancient world, a time of burgeoning empires and relentless expansion. The sword, in its various forms, was the primary tool of conquest. But one particular type of sword, the gladius hispaniensis, forged by the Iberian tribes and perfected by the Roman legions, would become synonymous with the might of Rome itself, dominating battlefields from the sands of Egypt to the forests of Britannia. The gladius, meaning sword in Latin, was developed by the Celtiberians in the 3rd century BC and adopted by Rome shortly after. Its short, double-edged, leaf-shaped blade, typically around 60 to 85 centimeters long, was designed for thrusting in the close-quarters combat favored by Roman infantry. This brutal efficiency made it a terror for enemies accustomed to longer swords or spears. From the Punic Wars against Carthage, starting in 264 BC, to the subjugation of Gaul by Julius Caesar in the 50s BC, the gladius was the cutting edge of Roman military dominance. Its reliability and effectiveness allowed Roman soldiers to maintain formation and deliver devastating thrusts, turning the tide in countless engagements across Europe, North Africa, and the Near East. Moving forward centuries, we enter the age of chivalry and the rise of distinct national identities. In the 14th century, during the 100 Years' War between England and France, a new type of sword emerged, the long sword. This two-handed weapon, often referred to as the greatsword or war sword, became the quintessential symbol of the European knight. The English longsword, characterized by its long, straight, double-edged blade and cruciform hilt, typically measured between 100 and 120 centimeters. Its design allowed for a combination of powerful cuts and precise thrusts, making it versatile against both armored and unarmored opponents. The skill required to wield it effectively was immense, often taught through detailed fencing manuals. This iconic weapon saw service in legendary battles like Crécy in 1346 and Agincourt in 1415. At Agincourt, English and Welsh longbowmen decimated the French cavalry, but the subsequent melee often saw knights on foot engaging in brutal combat where the longsword proved its worth, capable of cleaving through armor when wielded by a skilled warrior. The longsword wasn't just a weapon, it was a status symbol, a mark of nobility and martial prowess. Its presence in heraldry and literature cemented its place not just on the battlefield, but in the very cultural fabric of medieval Europe, representing courage, honor, and the power of the warrior class. Now, we journey eastward to feudal Japan, a land where the sword transcended mere utility to become an art form, deeply intertwined with philosophy and warrior code. The katana, the soul of the samurai, represents a peak of metallurgical achievement and spiritual devotion. Developed primarily during the Muromachi period, 1336 to 1573, the katana is a curved, single-edged sword characterized by its distinctive hamon, temper line, and tsuka handle. Its creation was a ritualistic process, involving specialized smiths using folded steel to achieve both strength and flexibility, a testament to centuries of refinement. Samurai wielding katanas fought in numerous conflicts, from the Sengoku Jidai, Warring States period, circa 1467 to 1615, to the Unification Wars led by figures like Oda Nobunaga. The katana's design allowed for swift, decisive cuts, favored in duels and battlefield skirmishes. Its sharpness was legendary, capable of slicing through targets with terrifying ease. Beyond its combat role, the katana was imbued with spiritual significance. It was considered the soul of the samurai, and its possession was integral to their identity and social status. The Bushido Code, emphasizing loyalty, honor, and self-discipline, was intrinsically linked to the samurai's relationship with his blade. Returning to Europe, we encounter a sword that embodies the power and ambition of monarchs, the falchion. While less common in high-profile battles than the long sword, the falchion, particularly prevalent in the 15th and 16th centuries, was a formidable single-edged weapon, often compared to a saber or cutlass, favored by infantry and even some nobility. The falchion's design varied, but often featured a broad, single-edged blade that widened towards the tip, giving it a chopping power akin to an axe. Its effectiveness against lightly armored or unarmored opponents made it a practical choice for common soldiers and mercenaries fighting in the turbulent Wars of the Roses, 1455 to 1487, in England. While not as celebrated in legend as the long sword, the falchion was a workhorse weapon. Its simpler construction and powerful cutting ability made it an accessible and effective tool for warfare, contributing to the bloody conflicts that reshaped the English monarchy and paved the way for the Tudor dynasty. Finally, we arrive at a symbol of military innovation and conquest that spans continents, the saber. While sabers have a long and varied history, the iconic curved saber, particularly as adopted by cavalry units across Europe and the Ottoman Empire, became a dominant force from the 18th century onwards. The saber, with its typically curved, single-edged blade, was designed primarily for slashing from horseback. Its adoption by cavalry, from Napoleon's Grand Army to the Ottoman Janissaries, revolutionized mounted combat. Its effectiveness in sweeping cuts could unhorse riders or inflict severe wounds on foot soldiers. Napoleon Bonaparte's campaigns, from the early 19th century, heavily utilized cavalry armed with sabers. The Polish winged hussars, though earlier, also employed a form of saber that struck fear into their enemies. The Ottoman Empire, too, fielded formidable cavalry using curved sabers in conflicts stretching from the Balkans to the Middle East. The saber wasn't just a weapon, it became a symbol of military prestige and status. Officers often carried more ornate versions, and its silhouette became synonymous with the dashing cavalryman, a figure romanticized in art and literature throughout the 19th century. These five swords, the Roman gladius, the medieval longsword, the samurai katana, the falchion, and the saber, represent different eras, cultures, and philosophies of warfare. Each was forged with specific intent, honed by countless battles, and passed down through generations, carrying the weight of history. The craftsmanship behind these blades is a testament to human ingenuity. From the complex folding techniques of Japanese smiths to the robust forging of European armories, these swords showcase an incredible mastery of metallurgy and design, far exceeding simple utilitarian needs. Their impact reverberates beyond the battlefield. These swords were instruments of power, agents of change, and catalysts for the rise and fall of empires. They dictated the pace of warfare, influenced political landscapes, and became enduring symbols of identity and power for the societies that wielded them. Consider the sheer weight of history these objects carry. The gladius, witness to Roman expansion; the longsword, central to medieval knightly combat; the katana, embodiment of the samurai spirit; the falchion, a pragmatic tool of brutal conflict; and the saber, the swift instrument of cavalry charges. Each has a story waiting to be fully understood. The legends surrounding these swords often blur the lines between fact and myth. While some stories are embellished, their core significance remains. They are tangible links to a past where martial prowess and the weapons that represented it were central to human civilization and conflict. From the thrust of the gladius to the sweep of the saber, these blades shaped the course of human history in ways we can still feel today. They remind us that the tools of conflict are also artifacts of culture, technology, and the enduring human drive for dominance and defense. The stories of these swords are not just about violence, they are about human endeavor, societal evolution, and the relentless march of time. They are testaments to an era when the edge of steel was often the edge of destiny. What other weapons from history have captured your imagination? Join us next time as we explore the thunderous power of early firearms and the dramatic shift they brought to the battlefield, from the arquebus to the flintlock.